Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand this is a safe place to land. Please understand you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Hey, everybody, we're back. We had like 45 minutes. Hey, John, so glad you're here.
Thank you.
We've been saying we might have to hold each other up. It's a little long distance, but we're going to have to try to hold each other up through this one.
We'll do our best.
Yeah. I just felt like that I needed to come on and say something about this. And I knew that it was, on your heart too, and everybody's hearts. And I just thought it was time to say something about this and just to be there for those that are suffering, or even just those that are scared. A lot of us are just scared because we just don't know. There's so much we don't know. We don't know if the people that are missing, if they're okay and they just haven't reported in yet, or if they're not,
Right.
So I just wanted that. I do have a few little announcements. I made them on the first live that we did at 6:30, but I'm going to go ahead and make them tonight and then toss the card away. But I would like to know, I'm just incredibly worried about some of our viewers that are in Texas. And so if anybody that lives in Texas is here and fine, please let us know. Mischief's Plumber's here, so she might be missing some of the starring comments for a few minutes or whatever. But anyway, we'll try to keep up.
I'll do double duty for you, sis.
Okay, thank you. But anyway, so we are worried about our friends and viewers in Texas. So if anybody knows anything, let us know. And if there's a need there, let us know, because, we're nosy because we care. There's a difference, but it is a little nosy too. So, there's that. Okay, so I have friends and family in Texas, in that area, and my family does have friends that are missing and feared that they have, it's feared that they have passed. I can't even hardly say it. I'm not close friends with them, but I know them. I knew them by name as soon as I was told. And I've been waiting since about 6:30 this morning when I heard to find out if they're okay, and I haven't heard yet. So it's scary, and I know that other people also have friends or family that are affected. And so Keela lives down there. She's safe. Where she's at is safe. But she knows people, so that's, scary. And I don't know. So anyway, on an up note about Keela, she is home. Was she in the hospital? Was it 16 days that she was in the hospital, I think?
It felt like forever, but I think it was around 16.
I think 15 was her record, and then
Business
she was gonna
record.
beat it by a day, maybe 2, but
Mhm.
anyway, so
Yeah, it might have
16,
been.
17 days, something like that.
Mhm.
And she is minus a 5-pound, 5-ounce tumor of some sort that was
Mhm.
named Bob by yours truly, John.
She asked me to name
Yeah, yeah. She said her husband wanted to know why you got to name it.
it. True, he had to live with
Yeah.
it.
So, another thing I wanted to say is I did donate the $15 in super chats that we got on the, Save a Fox live that we did the other night. I
Mhm.
was thrilled to get that, and I rounded it up to 50. The receipt is in the, post, which is like the community post section of our channel so that anybody that wonders, can see it. It's not a big deal. I haven't had one single viewer that has ever asked me to prove anything, but, sometimes it's just better to just take away any doubt
Yeah.
that even the trolls can put out there, so not a big
Mhm.
deal to share a receipt.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there is that. I did not share the receipt for the merch that I bought because I didn't want my husband looking on the on the post and being like, hmm." So, I mean, I'm just being honest here.
Mhm.
So, a lot of you did say that you, donated directly to Save a Fox. A lot of you went and bought merch. I know Mischief did. Uh, I'm just excited. I was thrilled and kind of surprised. I don't know why, but a little bit surprised to find out that so many of our viewers were also longtime viewers of M of hers. Michaela's. Her name
Michaela.
caught in my throat for a minute.
Mhm.
So, anyway, I've been a long-term viewer, and I found out a lot of you were too, and that was amazing. So, anyway, thank you for all of that. Another thing, I did have my scans yesterday, and they came back showing no growth of the existing cancer. So I'm thrilled for that. And
Great
even
news.
better, because I worry that it's gonna grow, of course.
Of
But
course.
the bigger fear for me is, actually that it will spread.
Yeah.
Um, and it didn't. There's no spread. So, yay. Good
Excellent.
news all the way around, but the no spread was the best news I possibly could have gotten.
Mhm.
So, if you noticed, I did change our logo in the corner of our screen to a candle, and that is because we are just like a keeping a candle burning for these,
Yeah,
excuse me,
for those missing.
for those missing. And I'm planning to leave that there until we know where everybody's at,
Yeah,
or
as
or
many
they
as they
think
can.
that we know everything that we're gonna know. I don't know. But anyway, it's gonna be there. So for all the missing in the Guadalupe River flood, that candle's for you. And we send love and prayers and good vibes and all that. So,
Absolutely.
oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna kind of get started here, and John can kind of help me whenever I'm gonna throw up. I don't have a lot of slides tonight, but it was just easier to put some of it in slides.
Mhm.
Um, anyway,
I
so
have the
tonight,
information that I sent you earlier pulled up too if we need it.
yeah, I think I added it, but well, if not, you
Oh,
can
okay.
absolutely add it. So,
Okay.
okay. So tonight's live is different than what we usually do. We are here to grieve, to remember, and to hold space.
Mhm.
That's what we're here for. And as I'm sure you know, parts of Texas, especially the hill country, which is where I was born, actually, it's a beautiful area, were
Mhm.
devastated by catastrophic floods this past week. Among the hardest hit was Camp Mystic, a place meant to bring joy and belonging to young girls.
Mhm.
The river rose fast and furious and stole more than cabins and trees. It took lives. At least 27 precious souls lost there, children, counselors, heroes. But in the darkness, light showed up. Neighbors, first responders, Mexican firefighters, crossing borders, counselors protecting the campers, and communities from every corner holding candles, hearts, and each other. And that's what we're here for because our community is not only in all the corners of this country, but of the world. We've got viewers all over the place. It is amazing to me where all of you are from.
Yeah.
And so I just I just see all of us just holding a candle in love and just
Mhm.
wishing peace on these people, and it just makes it seem like it would feel better. Because I know in my deepest, darkest moments, I've felt it when people have held space for me or prayed for me or had good thoughts and vibes and all that for me. I've known it. I've felt it. I've felt stronger. And I'm hoping that that will be true here too, and that all those people will feel it as well.
Yeah.
So tonight, this live is us gathering here, and it's about honoring them, the ones we lost, the ones that are just holding tight to hope, the ones who showed what real love looks like when the floodwaters rose. It's not about politics or blaming, and that will not be tolerated.
Mhm.
This was a horrible natural disaster. Any blame that might come later, might not. I don't know, but not tonight.
Mhm.
So, just trying to think. The current death toll that I have is as of about 3 p.m. Central Time today. Um, so I mean, if the information has changed, it's because I've been doing lives. So I've
Mhm.
been writing lives and doing lives. So, um, anyway, it said that the statewide deaths are at least 109 across 6 Central Texas county,
Mhm.
and that there are 160 plus people missing.
Yeah.
Now, we do need to, as a little bit of hope in such a with such a huge number, because 160 people being missing is devastating. Um, it could be that they have not yet been identified, that they've not been able to check in. They don't have cell service. You know, they don't have a way out. I mean, their property may be blocked, but they may be fine,
Mhm.
and so it could be that, and I'm gonna hold on to that. But at the same time, knowing that at least some of that 160 that is missing are probably lost, and it's devastating. It's already devastating at 109. In Kerr County, there was 87 confirmed deaths, 56 were adults, and 30 were children, but 1 was unclassified. I think that just means that they didn't know for sure if it was a child or an adult. I mean, which could be, pretty easy to explain. A lot of, teenagers, they're classified as children, but they're as big as an adult. So, I mean, if they don't
Right.
know who it is or whatever, then they might be having a hard time
Yeah.
um, making that differentiation. Anyway, at Camp Mystic, 27 campers and counselors perished. There are 5 campers and 1 counselor still missing. From what I heard, again, those numbers can change very quickly. Um, in additional counties, over 22 deaths in the neighboring counties. Now, another thing that I did find interesting, and I did not write it down, was that all of the deceased are not necessarily Texans. There were people there, well, obviously for the holiday weekend. So in that in the Guadalupe River was a big touristy kind of spot, for that. But there was also girls at Mystic Camp from Missouri and other states, and so it's not all going to be just. Not that that matters, but I'm just saying this is
Right.
affecting other states and
Mhm.
everything too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull up a couple of slides and see what we get. Okay, this is a timeline of events. It's gonna take 2 slides to do it, but anyway, this is the first. John, would you read some of that?
Yeah. So on July 3rd, which was Thursday, 1:18 p.m. Central Time, the National Weather Service issues a flood watch for Kerr and surrounding counties. By 11:41 p.m., flash flood warnings are upgraded for some counties. Fast forward to July 4th, Independence Day, at 1:14 a.m., the National Weather Service issues expanded flash flood warning. By 3:06 a.m., the National Weather Service posts a warning on X, very dangerous flash flooding with a clear turnaround, don't drown alert. An hour and a half later, at 4:23 a.m., it was elevated to flash flood emergency, an exceedingly rare alert indicating imminent catastrophic flooding. Between 4 and 6 a.m., the Guadalupe River surges dramatically, rising 26 to 30 feet in less than 45 minutes near Kerrville. That
Yeah.
I saw a couple videos that were shot from highway overpasses at how fast that water rose, and it
It
was
yeah.
unbelievable. I mean, 30-foot trees were just downed in its wake. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Um, Early morning, flash flood strikes Camp Mystic and RV parks. First residents trapped. Evacuation and rescue efforts begin, though many are asleep and caught off guard.
Well, the thing with that, John, is I was thinking that, the warnings, the bad warnings started, like, at 1:14 and at
Mhm.
4:23 AM, it was done to an emergency of, this is gonna be horrible, but people were asleep.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't hear those
Yeah,
messages or alerts. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, so go ahead. I just
No, it's
was
okay.
thinking about that,
Um,
like, oh,
and then by 3 a.m. on Saturday, the flash flood emergency expands to include Travis, Burnett, and Williamson counties. Later, additional counties added to warning. Water levels stay dangerously high. And the next day, July 6th, in the morning, the death toll begins to climb. Kerr County reports 59 dead, including 21 children.
that's heartbreaking.
Total Texas fatalities near 70. By 3:30 p.m. that afternoon, Kerr County escalates to 68 deaths. Statewide total around 78.
Hold on just a second, I hit the wrong button.
That's okay. 1:18 p.m. Oh no, that's the original.
Okay, hold on, I think I
Okay.
yeah.
By Monday morning, Kerr reports 75 dead, 27 children. Camp Mystic confirms all 27 camper/counselor deaths. By 9 a.m., U.S. Senator Ted Cruz states statewide toll is 82. By 2 p.m. that afternoon, the toll rises to 90, 75 in Kerr, others across counties. By 3 p.m., the toll had risen to 94 statewide. As of this morning, the death count was 104. Later today was officially updated to 109. That includes 87 recovered in Kerr, dozens in neighboring counties. Missing 5 campers and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic still unaccounted for. The submarine concerns. The flash flood struck rapidly overnight, catching many off guard, especially in RV parks and summer camps. Warnings issued: flood watch, followed by flash flood warning, followed by flash flood emergency. But many residents and local officials had limited awareness when the water hit. Emergency response was they deployed the Texas Game Wardens, the National Guard, the Coast Guard, Black Hawk helicopters for rescues. They recovered more than 520 people so far. Criticism is mounting over delayed alerts and preparedness, particularly in
Kerr County.
Kerr. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hold on. I don't know why that is not working, but anyway, I'll work on it as
Mhm.
we're going over this one. Sorry.
So the context and the aftermath. The death toll is still rising as more bodies are recovered and several people remain missing. San Antonio also suffered June flash floods that claimed 13 lives. Their records and 911 logs are being contested. Flash flooding remains a serious hazard across South and Central Texas in July, despite slightly lower risk. The key takeaways. The death toll has been greater than 100 so far, with large-scale loss of life at Camp Mystic. Stories of desperation and heroism, families and individuals clinging to hope. The ongoing search and rescue efforts, plus emerging demands for accountability and infrastructure review.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot, right?
hmm
I was able to piece together a little bit of information that was made public about some of the victims that were lost. Um, I believe that it's really important to not just focus on or remember what happened, but to never forget the victims. I know that even whenever I've had just family members that have passed away, it was always important to me that people didn't forget them. And so I don't know why this would be any different. I think that we need to remember them and speak
hmm
their name
Yep.
and hold space for them. So I did find, oops, that's the wrong button. This is just, I'm going to turn this one off so we can read it. That's not it. Come on, Susie. Take that off right now. We don't read, I mean, it's obvious it's a trigger warning if it's going to upset anybody.
Right.
So, okay. The Camp Mystic victims, Hannah and Rebecca Lawrence, were 8 twin sisters from Dallas who had just completed second grade, were at Camp Mystic when the flood struck. Their parents said Hannah and Rebecca brought so much joy. We will find ways to keep that joy, but we are devastated.
Chloe Childress was 19. She was a counselor at Camp Mystic and recent grad of Houston's Kincaid School, celebrated for her contagious joy and compassion. Her family noted she lived a beautiful life that saturated those around her.
Dick Richard Eastland, long-term Camp Mystic director who reportedly died trying to save others. His grandson described his death as occurring saving the girls that he so loved and cared for.
Janie Hunt was 9, a first-time camper from Kansas City Chiefs owner Clark Hunt's extended family. Her mother said, "If your heart is broken, I assure you God is near."
Sarah Marsh, 8, from Mountain Brook, Alabama, killed at Camp Mystic, described by her grandmother as a beautiful, spunky ray of light. That's Vetta's age,
Mhm.
you know? I think that's part of what's just we all have children those ages, you know? Mm,
Renee
oh,
Smustria, 8,
oh, no.
another Camp Mystic camper found deceased after days missing. Her uncle expressed gratitude that responders likely assisted identify her so quickly.
Lisa Bonner, 9, and Eloise Peck, 8, best friends from Dallas who died together. Eloise's mother said she passed away with her cabin mate and her best friend, Lila Bonner.
Other Hill Country victims: Reese and Paula Zunker, educators from Kerrville. Reese was a beloved soccer coach and Paula a former teacher. Their young children remain missing. Janie Lawrence and family members beyond the twins have been mentioned, but these are the most personal details available.
San Antonio flood victims on June 12th. 13 people died when a flash flood struck near Loop 410 in Perrin Betrol Road. The final victim was Esther Chung, 77, a Korean American known for her kindness and quilting. She was swept away while heading to prayer.
Identified victims include Derwin Anderson, 43, an Air Force veteran and father of 6, died after being swept off a bridge driving to his job. Victor Manuel Macias Castro, 28, returned from work. Christine Gonzalez, 29, a U.S. Army firefighter. Martha De La Torre Rangel, 55, and her son Joshua Pinandela Torre, 28, killed by en route to a dialysis appointment.
Isn't that awful?
That is.
Everybody's, you're just living your life,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Just, you're living your life. And this happens.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Little girls at Christian Bible summer camp, you know.
yeah,
that's-
yeah, it was a non-denomination Bible camp. I've heard of it.
Mm,
I've only heard good things. I don't know, but I've only heard good things.
mhm.
I mean, and this was before this, so it's not just that you're just hearing the good things now. No, that's all I've ever heard was good things.
Yeah.
So what's the status? It has been declared a major disaster by Governor Abbott, and there was a declaration or he did a declaration of statewide disaster affecting 15 counties.
Mm.
On July 6th, President Trump, per a press release, approved a federal major disaster declaration for Kerr County. And who's leading and supporting the rescue efforts? I should have already pulled these up while you were reading. I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's that one I was missing. I was like, where is that one at? At least I found it. Susie trying to rush and not getting everything where it belongs. Oops. Okay, now let's see here. I'm going to go back to the one before we go forward. There are a few survivor stories. Lorena Gouline, RV park owner in Kerrville, within 20 minutes, it was all the way up here, a 500-year flood.
Stuart Gross, Ingram resident with 45 plus years near the Guadalupe. We had a 30-foot wall of water, 300 yards wide, go down by my house at 85 miles an hour.
Can you imagine?
I mean, you can't outrun that.
No, not at all. And can you imagine the power?
Mhm.
I mean, the absolute power behind it.
Well, like I said, I've seen videos of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just swallowing up 30-foot trees like they were nothing.
yeah, like nothing.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
David Fry, vacationing with extended family at River Inn Resort in Hunt, survived along with 33 family members, rallying to move everyone to safety on the roof. Can you imagine? That's
That is not
34 with him, family members that could have been lost easily. They were going to the roof.
Mhm. Diana Smith and her 2 dogs escaped by kayak as floodwaters posed an immediate threat. She recalls crying, "God, I don't know what to do."
Yeah. I can imagine. How would you know?
Yeah.
I can just imagine being, I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
Team camper Callie McAllery, I'm sorry, age 16 from Camp Mystic. 1 minute lightning. Next, you hear water's coming up, kids running, trying to get to safety. And we did source all of those with ABC News, CBS News, Fox News, People Magazine. They're all good sources. And
Mhm.
oh, okay, so I wanted to look in on who's leading and supporting. So, who's leading and supporting the rescue effort? Federal, state, and local agencies. FEMA is now active on the ground, coordinating efforts in partnership with state and local authorities. Texas National Guard, Department of Public Safety, and local fire, rescue, EMS agencies are conducting swift water, air, and ground rescue missions. You want to grab those others?
The U.S. Coast Guard has deployed helicopters and boats, rescuing hundreds from the floodwaters. We've also had international and volunteer support. Volunteer firefighters from Acuna, Mexico, including Civil Protection Water Rescue Team and Cure firefighters, coordinated via Foundation 911, joined search and recovery missions in Kerrville.
So, how a rescue operation is organized under the Incident Command System, ICS, responsibilities are clearly divided. Response, incident command and coordination, rescue, priority phase, swift water crews, helicopters, drones, dog teams. Recovery, once rescue winds down, teams shift to search and retrieve, debris clearing, and forensic efforts.
Heroic and notable actions. As we said earlier, the Mexican volunteer firefighters crossing the border to aid alongside Texas teams. Texar volunteers with specialized equipment are saving numerous lives. Coast Guard crews are executing aerial and boat rescues amid treacherous conditions. Local and non-local relief providers are offering food, shelter, support, and healing.
Other countries, Canada and Europe, are doing surveillance and aid readiness. Canadian Disaster Monitoring Agency and European, oh boy,
Copernicus.
Copernicus Emergency Management Service have provided satellite imaging and hydrological models to U.S. partners. No boots on the ground personnel reported as of July 7th, but both regions have offered aid coordination if requested.
The United Nations, UNOCHA, the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, flagged the flood as a level 2 emergency due to death toll and infrastructure damage. They remain on standby if U.S. requests aid for displaced or unhoused family. Why Mexico's response matters. It reflects a growing U.S.-Mexico mutual aid alliance, particularly in Texas and border states. Mexican fire and civil rescue teams have aided U.S. disaster responses in wildfires in California, hurricanes in the Texas Gulf, and now inland flooding.
Now, I think that these are the two that you sent me, which is and I've put these in the post on my channel as well.
Okay.
And but these are how to help the victims of the Texas flood. I forget where you said you got these.
I got those from Facebook, but
Okay.
they were sent by Eva Longoria,
Yeah.
who is a longtime resident of the area.
Yes.
And so I know that these have been properly vetted.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and that they're legitimate. So
Yeah. So donate to World Central Kitchen, which was deployed to the area to provide meals and water to first responders and impacted families.
Texar, which we talked about before, is a volunteer-based search and rescue organization that's been deployed in Central Texas and is accepting donations.
Austin Pets Alive is accepting monetary donations and pet supplies after taking in 150 displaced pets from the flood. That's something people don't often think about immediately. Is the pets.
Donate to Kerrville Pets Alive, an organization helping with recovery efforts for pets and strays in the area.
And Kerrville's South Oaks Church is seeking donations and gift cards for families affected by the flood. Gift cards are such a great idea.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, they don't take up a lot of room, and
No.
and they can get whatever you need.
Absolutely.
How to help the victims of the Texas floods. You can donate to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund, which will distribute assistance to local organizations providing search and rescue efforts. Remember, there are still over 160 people missing. We have to find them.
We have to. The American Red Cross has opened shelters in Central Texas to serve victims of the flood. You can donate by visiting its website or by calling 1-800-HELP-NOW. That's 1-800-435-7669.
GoFundMe has a list of verified fundraising pages if you'd like to donate to a specific family or community center affected by the flooding.
The Salvation Army's Kerrville Croc Center is asking for non-perishables, hygiene items, bleach, diapers, and more. Donations can be dropped off at 855 Hayes Street in Kerrville, Texas. For those who are local, you can also donate directly to the Kerrville Center online, which is something that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's so okay. Oops. Now I have just I have some pictures. And I'm not gonna show the ones of my family's place just because I don't want to dox them. I don't want the trolls basically.
Yeah. Give
You know.
more grist for the mill.
Yeah. So but it's awful. No matter whose it is, it's awful. Oops. Ugh. Me and the buttons tonight. Almost done. I tried to pick pictures that show this devastation, but I try not to, like, get close up of people
Right.
or, which, I mean, they're on national news, but you know what I mean? I just
Mhm.
was trying to be very,
Respectful.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't know. Hold on just a second. I'll make sure it's all of them. Yeah. Alright. I'm just gonna put them up, and I'll hold them there for a few seconds, and then we'll move to the next one. There's just 7. I put this one up because I think that it is amazing how it shows the trees just mangled up and what the rescuers are having to actually climb through to try to find people.
Mhm.
It's not just finding them on the banks of a river. There is no banks to the river. This spilled over into everything else. There's just no banks. So, can you imagine that they're having to dig through all of this just in hopes that they'll find somebody
Mhm.
and hope that they're alive? Whoops. Oh, sorry. This is an overpass, and so that can also I picked this one too because this can explain a little bit too why maybe those numbers will go down of who's missing once people can get to somewhere to say, "Hey, I'm okay."
Mhm.
You know that cell service is not good, if at all, and obviously the roads are not clear. So they literally we can hold hope that they just have not gotten somewhere to be able to say, "I'm okay." And maybe those 160 people will be fine, and no other families will have to go through what the 109 already are.
Mhm.
This shows a road 4 minutes apart. 4 minutes. That's unreal.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, in 4 minutes, if you're watching that, can you imagine actually watching it? Because it's happening quickly. It's not like,
Mhm.
"Oh, yeah, it's rising." I mean, this is, like, happening super fast. We've had floods here, and they have been scary, very scary, but
Mhm.
they've not moved with this sort of speed.
Ferocity.
And yeah. I'll have
Yeah.
to, there's some pictures. We had some flash flooding yesterday. I'll post them
Mhm.
on my, community page. Nothing to this
Maybe
extent, but
pale
what
in
it brought home.
comparison, yeah.
Yeah, but what it brought home to me was that the the difference in it, like how scary what we saw yesterday was.
Mhm.
But this is like, I don't know, I there are no words. There truly are no words. It's just trees, and it's not supposed to be there. That's not where it's
Mhm.
supposed to be. Mm.
Mhm.
And those are big trees in Texas. Those,
Yeah. They're 30, 40
everything's,
feet tall.
at least.
Mhm.
Again, what they're having to search through.
Mhm.
This is some sort of a door there, like on the screen, that wood, it looks like some sort of a, you know, maybe part of a cabin or I don't know, something.
Yeah,
And
some
this is
type
after
of,
the water is kind of going back down a little bit, and in
mm,
some parts. In most parts, it's still extremely high, but there are some parts that it's not as bad right now.
right.
But they're just searching, and I can't imagine. I wanna go hug every one of these people that are out searching for
Mhm.
people. It's just, yeah, maybe some kind of trailer or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking because I saw that tire, I thought maybe it was some sort of
Yeah,
RV or something.
yeah, maybe. I mean, look
Yeah,
at that.
everything is just splintered,
That was
unrecognizable.
a building of some sort, and
Mhm.
it reminds me of tornadoes,
Hurricanes, yeah.
hurricanes, all that, yeah. Look at those searchers in there, and,
Mm.
oh, just devastating.
Dar
This is
says
the
it's like a tsunami. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what it looks like.
yeah, and this is the last one that I saved. There's hundreds online, guys,
Mhm.
hundreds, but look at this one, somebody's up in the tree.
Mhm.
I went ahead and used it because you can't tell. I mean, it looks like
Yeah,
it's a girl, but I can't tell an age, I can't tell what she looks like, and I went ahead and used that. I
yeah.
Just because I thought, "How long has she been there, and how scared is she?
Mhm.
And how happy does she have to be right now that somebody's coming to get her?" But look at her hugging that tree.
Yeah, for dear life.
Oh, it just and look at that water, you can just tell that it's and these aren't even the videos. The videos, I couldn't bring them. I just thought it would be too triggering for everybody.
Yeah, that one that I sent you earlier, I just oh, man,
Yeah,
that was a lot just to watch that.
it absolutely was. It really was. So, the bottom line, y'all, is, this is a full-scale, multi-level disaster, and
Mm,
it's governed by protocols, and it involves the federal and the state and local, international,
mm,
volunteer, and even nonprofit assistance. And the rescue operations are critical,
yeah,
and the crews are still, even now, they are racing to locate survivors and to recover the victims before more rain comes in.
yeah.
Because like here, they're expecting more. They'll get it and then we'll get it. So
Mhm.
what we get, I already know has been through there.
Yeah, Kila was telling me that, Mexico is suffering from the floods now
Yeah.
too.
And yet here they are helping us. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's the ones that they could spare, but still, it's
Mhm.
just, that they're in trouble too and that they're here.
Yeah, I saw that, Julia. I saw volunteers on horseback trying to find
Mhm. Yeah.
missing people today.
So before we go to the chat, I wanna thank John for being here with me, and I am always just more calm when you're here, when it's a tough one. There's
Me
just
too.
something about knowing that you're there. It makes me feel better.
Me too, because we're
I
not alone, Susie.
Yeah. I wanna thank Mischief who's in there trying to deal with our plumber at the moment. He was kinda late. She was not a happy camper.
I'm starring. I got your back.
Yeah. To my amazing mods and to all of you for being here, for
Yeah,
pausing
this was a
your
tough one.
scrolling through other channels or your schedule, your life, whatever, to sit
Mhm.
here just in sorrow and offer your hearts to strangers that you'll probably never meet. It is an amazing thing.
We
It
are truly a global community, Susie.
absolutely. And Texas is absolutely weeping. I When I made the thumbnail for this one and said, Texas is weeping, it was because that's what my aunt said. She said
Mhm.
the whole state is weeping. And she said if all of our tears go together, they're gonna make another flood. That was my 80-year-old aunt.
Mm.
82-year-old. I'm not gonna swallow that fly. I'm gonna slow down. I did that the other day. I'm not gonna do it again.
Oh, good Lord.
But yeah, Texas is weeping, but she doesn't weep alone, y'all. The whole world is weeping with Texas.
That's right.
And if grief is the price that we pay for love, then I personally will pay it boldly and without regret because it is worth it. It's just devastating whenever it happens.
Yeah.
So y'all hold your people close. Be someone's candle. You know, you don't even have to do
Mm.
anything to be someone's candle. Just let them know you're there. Let them know you care. And the water does rise, but so do we. And I just want those that are lost to always, always, always be remembered. And I wore my hoodie or my sweatshirt today that says "We got this,"
Mhm.
because as awful as it is, we got this. We're gonna we're gonna rise above it. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna come together as a nation and a world.
Mhm.
And
Just when we think the world, is as bad as it gets, and
yeah,
something like this just it makes you realize that there is still humanity out there,
hmm
and that when times get tough, that's when we pull together the most.
we were talking
So
the other day in the mod chat about the 4th of July, and some of us were saying that we just weren't feeling it.
yeah,
And I
I
remember
was
you
one of
said
them.
that you needed to get your patriotism back, that you
Yeah.
wanted to get your patriotism back. And sometimes
Mm.
it doesn't have anything to do with anything other than it's just there's just so much going on that it's hard to
Yeah.
stop and think, hey, we are a great country, we're, whatever. But this has stopped me in my tracks,
Yeah, it
and it
just
has
throws me.
reminded me of the great things about this country.
Yeah,
And the great things about this country are its people.
exactly.
And
And their
so,
kind hearts.
yeah. And so I just want everybody to remember that, and I want even the people from other countries, I want them to be able to look back at us and think, they really came together when as a country, as
Yeah.
a huge family.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, it's what got me, Susie, was I was watching a video, and it was on Canada Day, which is
Mhm.
their Independence Day. They
Yeah.
celebrated on the 1st. And there was 20,000 Canadians gathered in Ottawa, which is their nation's capital,
Mhm.
and they were singing in unison, and it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever
Oh,
seen in
yeah.
my life, and I just started crying.
Yeah.
And I'm asking myself, "Why is this making me so emotional?" And then I realized that used to be my country, you
Yeah.
know? we used to be fiercely patriotic like that. I mean, we
Right.
still are,
We
but
still are, but I know
you
what you
know
mean.
what I mean. I mean, it's with everything going on,
Yeah,
it just it seems to have gotten lost.
yeah,
And it's sad that it takes tragedy like this to bring us back together, but
absolutely.
I'm
But
just glad that we still do it, that we're
I
still
am too.
capable of doing it,
That's what gives me hope is the fact that we can be so divided as a nation, and yet when
Mhm.
something happens,
We
we
just
do
just
not
like
care.
that, we don't hesitate. We
Uh-uh.
just
We
help our
are
fellow man.
all one.
So that gives me
So,
faith.
uh,
Yeah.
so let's see here. Mayor says, just got good news from my younger brother. He had a biopsy and it's benign.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Great
that is
news, Riley.
amazing. That is great. So glad. Tell your brother that we are giving him the trophy tonight.
Yeah,
We're giving
absolutely.
him the trophy and we're giving this whole nation this trophy.
Mhm.
We all deserve it, but your brother gets a special little dose of it.
Yeah.
B, formerly known as Brazy. Prayers for Texas. May God surround, protect, guide, uplift, and embrace and hold all. Absolutely.
Thank you, B.
Yeah.
And that's from one of our Canadians.
Yeah.
So they're feeling it as much as we are.
Absolutely. Because it's human, and it
It
could
is.
be
It's
them tomorrow,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Mm. Julia says, "My prayers of peace and love to Texas." Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure they feel them. Like I said, whenever I've had terrible times, I have felt it. I have felt a sense of strength when
Mhm.
people have prayed for me or held me in the light or, just whatever. I have felt it. I have felt
Absolutely.
stronger for it.
Mhm.
Heat My Short says, "Sending love and support to all." Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, blame won't change what happened. It sure won't.
No,
It sure won't.
that won't bring any of those people back.
No. Yeah, Julia, it is absolutely alarming, the numbers. It is
Mhm.
devastating. It is, you know, I can't help but wonder if it's worse because it was like a holiday weekend and if a lot of people were gathered so close to the water.
Yeah.
Is that the Guadalupe or the Guadalupe, as they'll call it a lot,
Yeah.
or
It's a pretty
it's
popular
oh
tourist
yeah,
attraction. Yeah.
huge, huge. And
Mhm.
and and the locals just descend on it.
Mhm.
Joyous says, "My heart is absolutely broken." Mine too. All of ours are, and that's why I wanted us to be able to come together tonight. I
Yeah.
thought, if two of us show up, it's enough. It's enough. If two of us are here and we're here for each other, it's enough.
Yeah.
Mare says, "Joya, I see blame as a waste of energy. Save the energy for sending hugs, love, prayer, and whatever you do." Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, the flood caught them off guard. They were sleeping. Absolutely. And I mean, as most people except for Mare would be sleeping at 1 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe me too, Mare.
Mhm.
But, yeah, they were asleep. I'm sure that this will serve as a learning, deal for them, and maybe in the future, if there's a flood warning, and they may just immediately move to higher ground or something, especially camps and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I know here, we've had flood warnings here, and not personally myself, but people that I know have been, like, camping around, like, Lake Keystone or Grand Lake or something, and we've had flood warnings, flash flood warnings and all that, and they still stay. And they're like, "Well, we're just keeping an eye on it." And I'm always like, "Go home." But
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe this will be a learning experience for everybody across the world to just, like, seriously take these things very serious and
Yeah.
take precautions immediately. You know what? If it ruins a weekend, too bad. Better than ruining a life
Right.
or losing a life. You know, one woman said on the news I was watching this morning, and she said that whenever they got away from where they were and they made it down to this little store thing, there on the campground.
Mm-hmm.
But they had thought about, like, honking their horn and, really causing a ruckus, but they were scared that if it wasn't really gonna be bad, that everybody be mad at them for waking them up. And I thought, "Wake them up. From now on, wake them up. If somebody is mad, too bad. They can
Right.
get happy just as fast as they got mad."
If nothing else happens from tragedies like this, we
Mhm.
have to learn from them.
Absolutely, and I'm not
If we
blaming those
don't,
people that didn't wanna honk the horn. I'm not blaming them.
oh no, of course
I'm
not.
I'm I'm just saying, when you know better, you do better kinda thing.
Yep, exactly.
And next time, I just piss them off. I don't care. Piss them off. I'm telling myself that.
Hmm.
If I know there have been times that I have wanted to just scream at my kids because they're doing something that I don't think is safe, and I don't say anything because I don't wanna make them mad. But from now on, I'm gonna make them mad.
Hmm.
So, B, even one is a significant impact and emotional loss. The totality is of loss. The grief is immeasurable. My heart aches in helplessness. We are all human and we all bleed red. This is arduous. Absolutely. I'm gonna let you read a couple as I put them up.
Keep My Short says every day is a blessing, pals.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is.
Hug your people.
Hmm. B says it is. Every day is a gift. Have gratitude and joy in everything. No regrets. Love to all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful sentiment, actually.
If we take nothing else away from this than that, I'd be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just Eat My Short says, I love that Mexico sent help. Yeah.
I do too.
In the midst of everything that's going on, I mean, there's ice
Mhm.
raids going on all over the country, and these men still came to help.
Yeah.
So we tip our hats to them. Julia O'Connell says, World Central Kitchen is an amazing organization. Yes, they are. We use them at the Fresh Market. Whenever there's a disaster, they are there. Yep,
Yeah.
they really are. They're one of the good ones for sure.
Mm. Julia says, my cousin's fiance died in the tsunami in 2005.
Yeah, I'll never forget that one either.
Mm-hmm.
Watching that on television was
Oh,
terrifying. I can't even imagine what it was like to be there. Mary says, Mother
Maris,
Nature is unforgiving.
absolutely. It is so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Aw. Mary says, I have a candle lit.
Thanks, Mary.
Lori Driscoll, yes, sitting in sorrow. Glad you're all here. I'm sad for myself for a rough week. And this flood is so much bigger than I realized. I just can't watch. I understand, Lori.
Yeah.
I've
Take
had
care of
to
you, Lori.
I've had to keep myself kind of pulled away from it at times purposely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Heat says, we're so much better when we work together instead of against each other. Yeah.
absolutely.
Very wise words. That's what she says, I believe she was in that tree for 6 hours.
Wow.
If that information was correct. My son lives nearby, so I've been watching closely.
Oh, wow. I hope your son's okay. I mean,
Yes.
I hope you've heard from him is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think she comments later down the
Oh,
thread.
okay.
He was okay. Yep.
Lori says it's scary to be reminded how vulnerable we all are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching something, this was a couple years ago actually, and they were talking about how vulnerable we are, how vulnerable our bodies are, and how really easy it is for us to die from like trauma or something. That
Mm-hmm.
it's, we think of it like it has to be this catastrophic thing. And it really isn't as it doesn't have to be as big as what we think it is.
Right.
Mm,
Itchy Thayton says, love and peace.
absolutely.
Thank you. Darcy
Darcy.
says,
Oh, go ahead.
I was thinking I had a bad morning because my coffee maker died, but then you look at this stuff and I get slapped back and count my blessings. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It
We
makes
all
us
do that.
realize, yeah, it makes us
Um,
realize how small our problems are in
yeah,
comparison. Hmm.
I know. I can be all whiny and thinking, like I mean, even yesterday I was so mad at myself. I was sitting there at the hospital and it literally should have taken 2 hours.
Hmm.
Normally takes 2 hours. And I was there for over 7 hours and I was just put out over it.
Oh, yeah.
And just like really just I mean, I wasn't rude to anybody. I don't mean it like that. But I mean
Hmm.
in myself. I was really in my feels about it and being kind of pouty about it.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, I was laying in that um CAT scan and my
Hmm.
brain flashed to those floods. And I thought, what a spoiled little shit you are.
Hmm.
That you're here worrying about having to sit in a nice, comfortable hospital.
Air conditioned.
Yeah. And these
Yeah.
people, I mean,
Yeah.
it really
Puts it
didn't
all
come
into
there.
perspective, doesn't it,
Yeah.
Suze?
Yeah.
Yep. It
I
really
needed that
does.
little spank, I think. I needed that little bit of a spanking, to tell myself
Yeah.
to get over yourself, girl. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was feeling pissy. I was, Mayor. I was
I
feeling
was just gonna
pissy.
say I got a pissy streak too. I don't like being kept waiting. That's one of my pet peeves. I
I
hate that.
know. I
Oh,
know. Oh,
hospitals. Ugh. I don't have to
I'm
tell you. You know all about it.
yeah.
Mm.
But I tell you what, there's been I mean, this has really reignited my patriotism,
Hmm.
my belief in
Thank you.
humankind, and Keela being home from the hospital
Hmm.
has gave me, like, just such
Yeah,
a
that was a
better
shot.
outlook,
That was a shot in the arm for me too. It really was.
yeah,
I was feeling
and
really
I
down.
hope that you're all having some sort of moments that are, bringing you happiness and giving you
Mhm.
hope and peace and joy, even
Yeah.
in the midst of the sorrow. And I really just thank you all so much for being here. I really do. And I couldn't have done it without you, John. I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you.
So
I
anyway, I
appreciate
think I'm gonna go. But before we
it.
do, if we could just take a moment and just be silent for just a moment. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. And
Thank you.
remember, love is free.
Absolutely. And so is kindness.
Spread that shit around.
Yeah, spread that shit everywhere.
Hmm.
So we're gonna go and we will see you tomorrow. Just
Have a
have a
good night,
good night.
everybody.
Hope you enjoyed the show. So glad you were here. We meet here most days. We're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe